Strap in and get ready. This is the Wild Will Throwdown. We're your all-access pass to the world of short track racing, covering everything from regional results to national highlights. Each episode, we dive into upcoming schedules and bring you exclusive interviews with special guests from the heart of the motorsports industry. Now, here is your host, Wild Will Greenwell.
Welcome, everyone, to the Wild Will Throwdown season number 5. Another week has come upon us, and we are moving through the month of June. Now on the hotline, the two co-hosts of the Wild Will Throwdown, Mr. Hawk Harold Adams and Young Money Dalton Connor. And we're going to start with you, Mr. Dalton Connor, on where you were this weekend.
Didn't go anywhere special, Saturday anyway, besides back and forth from my new house to my old house. So me and my girlfriend got all settled into our new house that we just bought, so that was exciting. But yesterday, we went to the Ashley Albertson Memorial Car Show, hosted by Kelsey Dawsey. So that was a good time. A lot of cars, big turnout.
Wonderful cause. If anyone doesn't know Ashley Albertson, I was the director of operations at Circle City in 2023 and got to know that family very well, and unfortunately, tragically passing away during an incident on the highway. So she raced with the TQ All-Stars all the time, and I tell you what, that family still dear to our hearts. And Kelsey, Dawsey, Jack, and the gang doing that benefit for her every year. It's pretty impressive. So that was awesome to see. Hawk Harold Adams, you and I were down at the Sportstrom Speedway, where it was the TNT screen print modified figure 8 division for their triple 25s and a lot of forward action. But we had a great day down there.
Yeah, we did. Pretty good turnout and nice weather. And I tell you what, we've seen some pretty wild action, wouldn't you say?
I would, and I'm going to let you go on and do a recap.
Yeah, I tell you what, that triple 25, as you said, sponsored by TNT Screen Print. Of course, 325 lappers, the overall finish, and that's how they finish on the overall. But it was Jacob Robertson, fast time, gets the first win on the first feature. The second 25 lapper, it was Gerald Poe getting the winner. Now Jacob was fourth. Then on the third one, Jacob Robertson pretty well showed his dominance in this event, winning that one and taking the overall. And I tell you what, he probably looked as strong as ever on the modified figure 8 course in this race. What do you think?
Well, I do. I think we should have had him on the podcast again. That would have made a lot of people happy.
I'll tell you what, we just have him every week.
I tell you what, he deserves it. I mean, basically, that guy can drive anything. I know, Dalton, all jokes aside, you give that guy a hard time. He's one of your good friends. But, man, I tell you what, he showed his dominance Saturday, Dalton Connor.
Yeah, I talk to J-Rob all the time. He's my good buddy, so I like to give him shit. But he told me, he said he's never felt better in a modified figure 8 car. So the field may be in trouble now.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he put an exclamation point on that, Harold Adams.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he had that outside groove down there at the pit turn just working. I mean, he was passing 2 and 3 cars, it seemed like, at a time over there. So, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with the rest of the season. Looking at the rest of it, the Ford figure 8, getting his first figure 8 win of the year was Derek Smith. We had talked to him about how he was working on that car and then getting it dialed in, and pretty well showed that he was right. They did get it dialed in. He looked pretty strong, winning wire to wire on that one. Ford Oval A, Carson Chapman finally getting a win. I know it's been a long time coming this year, and that strong number 2 car. B feature, once again, 30 laps, 30 cars, and it was a wild one, just like last week. Jeremy Porter getting the win there. Future stars Caden Puckett, and in the Powder Puff, Hayden Adams getting the win.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. The Ford racing was absolutely ecstatic. The heat races were tremendous, like always, and it was a great, great time at the Sportstrom Speedway. And, of course, there was a lot of racing everywhere that Mother Nature cooperated with us again, and we appreciate that. And hopefully she does it on the upcoming, because the upcoming is very, 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 very busy, and we're going to talk about that towards the end of the show here today. But now it's time for the topic of the week. I had the topic of the week this week. Now, gentlemen, this kind of goes in detail a little bit. So this should be a good topic of the week. And I was trying to figure out things to talk about this week. But this week, I guess if you had to put a statement out, basically, Are modern motorsports becoming too dependent on technology? And is it hurting the driver's skill and competition? So, now basically, you could look at the relevancy across the F1, Formula One, NASCAR, and IndyCar, and short track racing as well. But as far as even sim racing goes. So basically, creating a natural divide on opinions here. I don't know what your opinions are, but basically it's driver skill versus car performance now. Engineers now in the top echelon of motorsports are engineers deciding races more than drivers. Well, then you have data and telemetry. Has real-time data taken away from the basic feel-good element, the feel element that is, on feeling what your race car is doing. Now we could go over spec versus innovation. Should series standardize more parts or allow creativity? Then you got drivers pushing the limits, obviously, in tech. Then is it the cost and accessibility? Does advanced technology make racing less accessible to teams? Then you have your fan experience. Let's look at it all forms. Do fans enjoy high-tech racing more than less, or short-track racing where it's kind of more the driver again? Or, you know what? Would legends from past eras still dominate today? I mean, there's a lot that goes into this topic of the week, and I'm going to let you have it, Dalton, first.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's all opinion-based, right? I mean, we may not agree right here. So I will say F1, I feel like, is the most engineer-based form of motorsports, I guess. You're not going to see they're all world-class drivers, so all of them. I mean, they're in one of the top forms of motorsports. So they're all world-class drivers. They're all the best of the best. Now, I don't think in an F1 car you're going to see, let's just say, Max Verstappen, one of the best ones right now in F1. I don't think you put him with a different team, different car, and I don't think he's going to go dominate or win races like he does with that Red Bull car. I don't see it, just because it's all engineer based. Sure, you still got to drive them, sure, but there's a couple teams, maybe one or two top teams in F1, to where it's just the cars basically that are that much faster. Now, NASCAR, Cup Series and all that is, I feel, leaning towards getting to that, the F1 kind of format of all super high technology, high tech, engineer based, wind tunnels, this and that. But I think with a stock car, they're a little bit heavier. You got to drive them more than like that F1 car. But it's so opinion based. It's hard to even say. Now, as a fan, I will say I would much rather pay money to go watch a short track race over any NASCAR F1 race. Now, the experience of going to a NASCAR race or an F1 race or anything like that is going to be cooler. You know what I mean? It's just going to be, more people, all the drivers. That's the top echelon. I mean, that's the best of the best. But I think you're going to see better racing at your local short track with some two hillbillies going at it on a green, white, checkered. So I may look at it different than others, but that's just my opinion. So I'll pass it to you, Harold.
Yeah, me being old school, and I know I keep bringing that up, and I guess I must be getting old, but, the upper echelon, like you said, NASCAR and all that Indy stuff, that kind of lost me a while back because of that, because of the engineering and the high tech and all that, because I watched it back in the day when it was more of the driver situation.
Back in your Firecracker 400 when Kel Yarborough won?
Yeah, because we were just talking about that when I was a kid. Well, I mean, let's see. I was 12 years old. I went to the Daytona Speedway, watched the Firecracker 400 in 1976, the bicentennial year. So that was a big deal. Yeah, Kel Yarborough just dominated. But anyway, but yeah, the cars more like cars, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. You see some of those old clips and some of the old movies and stuff, and it's almost like, at the short track now you see some of these guys, the hillbillies, as you said, Dalton, just working on their cars, changing the tires best they could, and sending your guy out there and say, hey, go win a race. And so in a way that is, and of course it's gotten even more high tech lately. So a guy like me is, kind of not in tune with that. Now, some of the younger crowd now, they're probably going to like that, because that's what they're growing up with, more or less.
Sure.
They, all this technology, all the computer age, if you will. So they want to see that probably. Maybe so. I don't know. But yeah, as you said, Dalton, at the short track, I'd rather see, the Crown Vics and the front wheel drives and the pure stocks. I always tend to like that more anyway, now, even more than like your late models and stuff on a general basis, except for the Outlaw Figure 8, of course, modifieds. But, that's just something that, you kind of see going away a little bit. And that's what I love about, too, the Crown Vics. I always say they're kind of the last of the breed that you're ever going to see, of the old rear-wheel drive stock cars, if you will. So we better enjoy it while we can.
Well, yeah, and I always said the old versus new school, and that's a good point, because I've always said when my father got to the point in where he watched NASCAR and he couldn't pronounce half the words in this science-driven technology, then you're going to lose a lot of that. But I mean, you look at the high data-driven science now. I mean, basically designing race cars to go as fast as possible, right? So basically, you have engineers using computer simulations, advanced aerodynamics, and data analysis to tweak everything from suspension setups to pit strategy. I mean, think about that. I mean, you have computers running about anything you can get to. You even have, and I always laughed at this, when a car went out and qualified, and I know you've too, if you've seen it on Fox, NBC, whatever the broadcast is, there's a car out there, and it has a kind of a ghost car that follows it, showing where this car needs to be before it qualifies on the pole.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's absolutely mind-blowing, and that's been a few years back, actually. So now with the next generation car, the next-gen car, NASCAR, of course, you've had struggles on this car, but you have, of course, technology designing this car. And, another good thing, talking about aerodynamics, I mean, basically you see these engineers using these computer programs now in wind tunnels to shape the car's body. So basically it reduces the drag, and Dalton, you know this, air slowing the car down, and increases downforce, which is air pushing into the car to the ground for better grip. So it's amazing to me. And now you have all these NASCAR drivers that, what are they doing during the week? Well, they're in their shops doing simulation. They're on the sim rig. They're actually doing this sim and iRacing and stuff to get better at the next track they go to. Or if they've never been to a racetrack on the NASCAR circuit, like San Diego coming up in the on the military base, they're having a kind of a, I guess, script sim. That way they could try to see how the turns are going to be and stuff before they get in the car. So, Dalton, I mean, that's pretty cool technology as well.
Yeah, I mean, the sim stuff I absolutely love. I mean, anybody can get into iRacing. Their stuff's high tech. I mean, they're in the chassis of the car, feeling the full effect, you know what I mean? But I want to go back to it kind of made me chuckle. You said, like, they're using all the technology and stuff for pit stop strategy. That made me chuckle because I was thinking, like, 3-hour pit stop strategy. You have all of our teams, everybody in the pits, every driver's with their team in their huddle going, yeah, we could probably make it about lap 250, 235-ish. I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit longer. Hopefully we don't run out. So that's the different mentality, different game plans from your local short track Outlaw Figure 8 3-hour endurance race compared to a weekly Sunday NASCAR show. So you saying that, I was just thinking in my head, it kind of made me chuckle.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're exactly
I'll
right.
tell you something else, Will.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got something. There's something happened just a couple weeks ago. I think it was at Sportstrom. It was just talking about the way things have evolved. But it was during practice. I don't know what division it was, but the scoreboard wasn't on yet. They didn't have it working, showing the times, as the cars are practicing. I didn't have it on my race pass, all that stuff, whatever. But there was some guys there, and they was mad. They was like, come on, why don't they got the times up there? Or when they got the board working, we want to see the times. I was thinking, man, that's interesting compared to the old days, whatever happened to a stopwatch.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I mean, you used to see 20 guys lined up there with a stopwatch, clocking their man.
Now I want to give a shout out to Marcus Elliott and whatnot, because he actually pulled out a stopwatch a few months back this year. And while one of the cars early in practice, what's that?
They still make them?
They still make them, believe it or not. And your iPhone has a timer on it. Well, you don't have an iPhone. Well, you poor non-iPhone people.
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Okay. But, talking about that, that's a great point, too. My Race Pass and Race Monitor and all of this electronic scoring and technology that is basically renowned. And this is another topic of the week we won't get into. But, I mean, My Race Pass now has it, and where you can see the lineups, your qualifying time, your driver profile, the announcers page. And now you can listen to the announcers in My Race Pass. So that is another form of technology that we get into. But just thought this would be an interesting topic of the week because there is a lot to the science and the technology of the sport. Now, the question is, and that was a question posed. Now, how do you think this makes the racing different for the driver? So the question is, would legends from the past eras still dominate today if they had the technology? If they did not have the technology versus the technology today? And I'm going to say no, they would not dominate at all.
Yep. I completely agree with you on that. And I'm not a boomer hater over here. I'm not just for the young guys, but I don't see it in any universe. Sure, I mean they were good drivers back then, but it's hard to even compare. It's like basketball, football, who's the GOAT? LeBron James, Michael Jordan. It's two different eras, you know what I mean? It's hard to, you can compare stats all you want, but they aren't playing against the same competition.
And they're not the same age either.
Yeah, exactly. So all the factors just keep on piling up, variables, and that's why I never even debate about who's the greatest of all time on much of anything, because it's hard. There's greatest of all times in the certain eras. There's the greatest of the 90s, greatest of the 2000s, greatest of the 2010s.
So bottom line, Harold Adams, Kel Yarborough would not dominate the 2026 Firecracker 400.
Well, probably not. I mean, but hey, everybody has their own opinion about it, and I guess that's all that's the big fun of it all. You can argue all you want and have fun with that discussion, and no one will ever win.
No, I actually agree with you. I love the short track racing too. I enjoy watching it all, but I love the short track stuff because basically it's your blue collar people out there that work weekly on a regular job and come home on the weekends and go racing, and that's what they do. So I love that. We'll take our first commercial break here at the Wild Will Throwdown. When we come back, we'll talk to the driver of the number 15 Outlaw Figure 8 car. Mr. Race Loving joins us next here on the show. Race fans, in 2026, we celebrate 5 years of the podcast, The Wild Will Throwdown. And in 2026, we cannot thank our great marketing partners for what they do for us, including the Salem Speedway, the Sportstrom Speedway, KKR, Indianapolis Speedrome, Elite Outdoor Services, Shears Drain Cleaning, Kentucky Clutch and Performance, Forklift Rescue, Diesel Boys, Harp Fans, Hoosier Auto Racing Fans, Flag to Flag Media, Roosters, Marshall Jaggers Racing, Derby City Recycling, Polk Brothers Racing, John McLaren Motorsports, Shane Wilson Lawn Care, Sean Smith Race Cars, Circle City Raceway, Victory Lane Frenchies, Oink Incorporated, Hadley Towing and Recovery, Code 3 Roofing, KJ Enterprises, The Smile Center, Clatt Mowing and Landscaping, LaFever's Curbing, El Tarasco Mexican Restaurant, and S&R Towing. We cannot thank our beautiful marketing partners enough for their success and their support in 2026. And welcome back to the Wild Will Throwdown season number 5 in 2026, supporting Indie Warrior Partnership, giving back to homeless veterans. On the hotline now, the driver of the number 15 Outlaw car from the great state of Michigan, Mr. Race Loving. And Race, thanks for taking the time to chat with us this week.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, absolutely, buddy. Well, let's dive in it a little bit. We talk about your Outlaw and everything like that. That's kind of now and here, but let's talk about how you started racing. And of course, we all know the history with your father, Robbie, which is such a rich history in outlaw figure racing from your area. So talk about that a little bit.
I started racing. Everybody knows my dad as the Playboy, Robbie Loving. Started racing because of my dad. He had cars, and I had the interest, and they named me Race, so it was kind of crazy not to race.
Heck yeah.
And I just fell in love with it the moment I got behind the wheel, and it's kind of a crazy drug, but I love it.
So talking about your dad for a moment, we were actually going to see him. Did he race that race in Florida this year? I called it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, he raced that race in Auburndale this year. I had a trip planned to Hawaii, so he stayed down and raced it.
So what was his feedback for that? Did it give him the craving to get back in a race car? Or is like, yeah, this part-time stuff's better enough for me?
Yeah, it gave him the craving. Actually, he hopped back in one of the flat rock cars here at home. Has been racing it pretty consistently and working on it again. And the fight is definitely back in him. So it's pretty cool to see that too.
Well, that's really cool because at some of the races, I think Paynesville, I got to go in your trailer and I sat and talked with you guys and him and pretty rich figure eight racing. You know, I love the regions of figure eight racing. You have the Pacific Northwest, of course, Evergreen. You have the Orange Show. You have Florida, a lot in Florida. Of course, you have the hotbed here in our region. You got Michigan, Indy, and of course down at Sportstrom Speedway. Just talking about it, for our listeners that don't know, when we say flat rock cars, can you just tell the main differences between a flat rock car versus an Outlaw?
Well, a flat rock car, we run V6s. I mean, we can run V8s now, but nothing like down in Indy. We're on 5x5s, not wide five. We're on steel wheels. We got Ford 9-inch. You know, we're not have quick changes and stuff like that. You know, so much big difference from these cars to the Outlaws.
So, what made you want to go outlaw racing? I know you get that beautiful number 15. I love the purple and yellow. What made you want to go outlaw figure eight racing full time?
Anything I've done as I've grown up, I want to be the best at it, and I want to beat the best. And the best is down there in Indianapolis at the Speedrome. And those guys are just some of the toughest competitors in the world. And I want to put my name on the book with some of those big names, just to be as great as them one day. And that's what makes me want to be down there so bad.
We've seen a lot of your talent come from the Michigan area. Of course, you look at the Wismans and all of that stuff, and looking at you guys at Flat Rock. Now, the question is, this year, you've had some struggles in the engines. We've talked to different people in the pit area. They're all pulling for you in Indy. I can tell you that because I've talked to a lot of the behind-the-scenes drivers and stuff, and we've talked about you and how the struggles with that engine and the power plant came. But talk about the struggles this year you've had with that engine.
Well, our first engine we had, it was a great engine. You know, we had a lot of laps on it, so it was due for a maintenance and just happened to go out at the wrong time. And then Jillian Lepedo and her dad loaned us a motor for one night, which was great, and we thank them still to this day for that. And then we had someone else loan us a motor, and it just wasn't the motor it was supposed to be. So then we just kind of regrouped, sat back, got our original motor rebuilt, gone through, freshened up. It is ready to go now, and we are more than happy with it. And we want to thank Jim Jones for taking the time to build us another solid piece.
Now, I always ask this question. So what size of a track is Flat Rock, by the way? I've never been there.
I think it's a quarter, to be honest with you. I don't know. I just race it.
No, you're good. So same as Sportstrom. So do you prefer that quarter mile, a little more speed, or do you like the 5th mile bull ring at Speedrome better? I always ask drivers this.
You know, I have the most fun driving down there to Speedrome. That track is aggressive. You got to be up on the wheel, have your elbows up, and looking around everywhere. I feel like at Flat Rock, we are faster and moving a little quicker, but there's just not as much going on, you know, because it's a little bigger track. But the Speedrome is just so aggressive and so much fun.
No, you're exactly right. And for a fan's perspective, I mean, typically me being an announcer and calling the races play-by-play, I always like the 5th mile bull rings. I think they create a little more excitement. They are the best in the business at the Speedrome, and they show it on the 5th mile, especially when you get as many cars out there as you would in the 3-hour of the Jake's 150. And that brings me up to that subject. This weekend is the Jake's 150 at the Indianapolis Speedrome, the 150 lapper around the 5th mile. Going to have some of the best cars out there as of yet. We've had rookies out there. We're going to have veterans out there. We got guys that really haven't raced in a figure eight car much. So what did your expectations going into a 150 lapper this weekend?
We're coming in with pretty high expectations just to keep our car together. We're showcasing a brand new race car for the Jake's 150, completely new wrap, new colors.
Wow.
So we're coming down to really try to change the name of here in Michigan and try to bring something back to Michigan for once, and just kind of keep showing up and beating the best down there.
So now the question is, leading up to the 50th annual World Figure Eight Championship, the 3-hour, of course, we're all excited for. It's going to be a great week of action. So how many races do you see yourself competing in leading up to that 3-hour?
We're going to shoot for the Jakes. Then we're going to shoot for 2 more after that before the 3-hour. We're still debating on the 1-hour it's kind of close to the 3 hours. So
Yeah.
we're going to see how we're running. If we like the car and it's really smooth, I mean, we want to save it for the big one, the 50,000 to win, and put my name on the world championship.
Hey, you can do it. I believe anybody can. And the Loving name, I mean, their history in figure eight racing, you sure got it in your blood. So now, looking at the future, do you plan on ever racing a full season at Speedrome in the Outlaw figure eight car?
Yeah, that was intentionally the plan this year, and then just have to navigate around the motor issues. And everybody knows how expensive this sport is.
Oh,
and
yes.
I do it with very minimal help. So I thank the sponsors I do have, but everybody knows how expensive it is to race. So we kind of had to regroup, sit back, and just get our engine department back together so we can come back full force and be strong.
So what is the distance between your house and Speedrome? I always wanted to ask you this because I don't know exactly where you are.
Yeah, it's 4 hours and 32 minutes.
Oh, boy. 4 hours. We're about an hour and 40 minutes away south of Speedrome, so I couldn't imagine 4 hours and something. But, buddy, before you go, and I thank you for your time, I want to give you the opportunity to thank your sponsors on that car, because without sponsors, we couldn't do anything in this world of motorsports, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt at all. First and foremost, I want to thank my crew, Jeremy Miller, my dad, Robbie Loving, Bert, Lane, my brother Chase. He's a huge help to me. I don't think I could do racing without him. And then I want to thank my wife. She does hair by Sydney Loving. Race One Wraps. That's wraps my beautiful race cars and great designs. My buddy at Trusted Roofing, Mike and JR. Thank you guys. You're an amazing sponsor. JC Carpet and Floors. My buddy Jeff supported me since I was a young kid, and greatly appreciate him. We got Front Row Gutters. Seamless Gutters, my brother-in-law, Guy Fire. Thank him very much. And then Telegraph Heating, Cooling, and Mechanical. Couldn't do it without all our great customers that let us work. And we're very thankful to have everybody aboard. We're looking forward to this year.
Yes, indeed. And I got one more question. Is there any opportunity or chance we'll see a Robbie Loving on the Speedrome again?
There is a slight chance. I'm just not going to say when. But
that's all I wanted. Well, that's awesome, man. I know that will make that statement there, even though you're not going to say when, that will make a lot of people happy, because I've been asked that question from guys who, I guess, veteran guys who know the Loving family very well. So that's pretty cool, and I'm excited that I might get a chance to see that as well. But Race, I tell you what, thank you for taking the time to talk with us this week. We're pulling for you. We're looking forward to seeing you back out there this weekend at the Indianapolis Speedrome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I greatly appreciate it, and looking forward to getting there at the Jake's 150 and showcasing this beautiful race car.
Hey, Wild Will Throwdown fans, Will Greenwell here. If you're into all types of racing like I am, then you need to check out the all-new Flag to Flag Media show each and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to Flag to Flag Media, that's Flag, the number 2, Flag Media on Facebook, and give them a like, or YouTube and subscribe. They will cover all of your dirt racing needs around the region. Flag to Flag Media. Check them out. And welcome back to the Wild Will Throwdown. That was the driver of the number 15, Race Loving, from the great state of Michigan. And Harold Adams, I tell you what, the Loving family, and we've talked about this, you and I, and Tori and Scott and I and all the gang, the Loving family, especially Robbie, has so many, so much history on the figure eight course here in the history.
Yeah, no doubt. And, of course, Robbie, he's run the 3 hours so many times. So it's really cool to have another Loving involved, and going to be interesting to see how he does this weekend.
Yeah, glad he's coming back down and got that new engine, the power plant in, the new wrap coming down as well. So a lot of visitors coming in this weekend to the Indianapolis Speedrome, because getting prepared for the 50th annual 3-hour World Championship. But let's kick it off. Let's look at our upcoming schedule before we wrap up today. We're going to start down at the Sportsdrome Speedway. And Harold Adams, I'll tell you what, $8 for everyone.
Yeah, $8 Father's Day weekend special, celebrating 80 years at the track. So it goes hand in hand there. We're going to see for $8, you're going to get the Ford Ovals, the Ford Figure 8, Future Stars, Powder Puffs, Smack Talkers, and they have also added onto the schedule the SCA Sportsman Division. It's kind of a makeup from one of their rain dates earlier.
So that's going to be a great weekend of racing there. $8 to get in. You cannot beat that. You can't even buy one order on the McDonald's menu for that. Think about that.
Well, then you got a bargain then.
You got a bargain like no other. And let's look at the Indianapolis Speedrome now. I mean, Friday night, they're going to kick it off with the street stocks, the junior fast carts, the senior fast carts, and the young guns. And then on Saturday night, June the 20th, it'll be the 26th annual Jake's 150 factory front-wheel drives, the rescheduled Drake Wood Memorial for the INX Legend cars, and the Mini Outlaws. So, Harold Adams, that's going to be a big program this weekend at the Indianapolis Speedrome.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger races. We talked about the spring shootout, a few weeks ago, the 90-minute, but this is one of the other big ones. And I know a lot of these guys getting prepared for the big 3R this year. So, of course, like you said, race 11 coming. And, I'm hearing maybe Michael Cherry from Florida coming up, too. These guys want to get some practice in, if you will, some real green flag racing, getting ready for that big 3R later in the year.
Now, Dalton Connor, what's going on where you are this weekend?
Well, I'll be running my street stock at Anderson. So it's a Anderson 150 HRA, Heartland Racing Association. So we have the street stock 150, the Fords. I don't know if it's Ford Oval or 4-figure-8. Maybe both. I'm not sure. But front wheel drive, and we have Kenyan midgets at Anderson.
That's going to be a great show as well in the high banks of Anderson on the short mile. So you know what? Short quarter mile, I should say. But that's going to be a great one. Mount Lawn Speedway. Now, this is something, Harold, that I'm kind of shocked in. They have not gotten many races in at all, and here we are, June. They're like us last year. They are going to have a regular night this weekend, but they have to make up some time here.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they're getting a really late start. So, I mean, hopefully the weather holds out for them and they can get some good racing in. Because, I mean, like we've talked about before, we've worked up there before. And we love that track, and I know they can really put on a good show.
Yeah, I wonder if Rita's still there.
Well, I don't know. She probably is.
That woman's going to die with that track, I believe. But
yeah, kind of almost like Vicky. But, yeah.
Yeah, Rita Crenshaw. I'll never forget that name. She's the one up there at Mount Lawn Speedway who does all the giveaways and is in charge of, I guess, public events. I don't know what to call it. But she does a fantastic job up there, and we got to work with her up there. We got to work with a lot of people at Mount Lawn Speedway. I know we worked with a lot of people that's not there anymore. We worked with Glenn Luckett was race director. Greg Wood was in the air on the race control with us. And then Jimmy Wyman, of course. The late, great Dave Duncan. We've talked about him, God rest his soul. But I don't know if anybody else is still up there. Is he still up there?
Not sure. So it'd be great if we could go up there sometime in our schedule, but boy, that's
good
gonna be
luck.
A tough one to make.
Good luck.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Plymouth Speedway going to have the home run street stock big race for the street stocks this weekend. Factory Fords and Hornets. Now, Harold Adams, I'm telling you, I marked it on my calendar. July 17th. You and I should possibly make a trip to Plymouth.
Oh boy, well, I'll have to make a note of that, and we'll see if we can do that. So it'd be great to knock that off our list.
I tell you what, we've been wanting to, but I think we may have an opening. Okay, the Ohio Rally Dragway, if you're into the straight line stuff, bracket racing this weekend, and if you're into the dirt scene, we have a lot of dirt racing to go over this weekend. Now, got a couple of tracks off. Lake Cumberland's off, I believe. Ponderosa's off this weekend, and Richmond's off this weekend, but we have some big races going on. Florence has the Ohio Valley Late Model Series in the Topless. They're going to be versing each other. It's kind of like an Ohio Valley Late Models versus Topless Late Models. That'll be $4,000 to win. Crown Vic, Sport Mods, and Legend Series going to be on the dirt. Also, at the Windy Hollow, they're going to be off this weekend because June the 28th, we'll talk about that in a minute, they have the big Summer Nationals Hell Tour coming in for the super late models for the first time ever, them and the Summit Racing Equipment Modifieds on June the 28th. So we're going to talk about that on next week's show. If we have a next week's show, I just want to go on and tentatively let everybody know we may not have a next week's show, and you'll know why here in a second. Thunder Valley, they're going to have the Hornets, Crown Vics, and Scrappers. Let's talk about that for a moment, Harold Adams. Let's talk about our big stretch. We kick it off on Friday night. I believe you will be there as well. Fair night. I can't believe it's the fair already. But Thunder Valley is going to resurge. Brent and Melissa Harmon are going to be the promoters there. And basically, I will be on the call each and every Thunder Valley night. You are going to try to make it when you don't have carts. But this weekend, Fair Week, it kicks off Friday night with Hornets, Scrappers, and Crown Vics. And he's going to offer some big money, so I expect a big car count this Friday night.
Yeah, just like, I guess, last year when they had that big event there in October, had a big turnout. I mean, everybody likes that little bull ring. And so this being the opener, with a lot of anticipation of how it's going to go. And, of course, with Brent doing the improvements, I think we'll see a rather large turnout for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And here it goes. We're going to talk about this. I posted it on my social media outlet. So the 19th, that is Thunder Valley. The 20th, we go to Sports Drum Speedway for the $8 Father's Day night. The 21st, that is that Sunday night. We kick it off at the I-65 Speedway in Scottsburg. That will be the American Sprint Car Tour, the Pure Stocks, the Crown Vics, the Hornets, I believe. That's going to be taking shape. And then on Monday night, the 22nd, we have kart racing at the Scottsburg's I-65 Speedway. We get a couple days break. Then we go back to the 25th on Thursday night. It is Crown Vics and Scrappers. Harold Adams, how about this? $2,000 to win for Scrappers and Crown Vics.
Yeah, I know they've been promoting that a lot and trying to get a lot of guys to show up for that. I mean, that could be just crazy, because I guess that'll be enduro style, so we'll start them all.
Yep, and the 26th, the next day on that Friday night, I know you'll be at KKR, but I will be at the Thunder Valley Raceway for a huge, epic night of racing. We have sprint cars, open-wheel sprint cars coming back. We have the TQ All-Star Midgets coming back. We have Crown Vics. We have Pure Stocks. We have Hornets. That's going to be a huge night at Thunder Valley.
That's crazy. I mean, things are really ramping up here. Like I say, kind of everything happening at once here right now, with the fair and all these other big events. But hey, as long as Mother Nature don't want to mess with things, it'll be fun.
It will. The 27th, I have the Sports Drum Speedway. That is Jake's mid-season championship, 40-lap features only. And then the 28th, you and I are going to be making our way down to the Hell Tour down at Summer Nationals in Owensboro, Kentucky, right outside for the Windy Hollow Speedway Summer Nationals. Dalton, I tell you what, that sounds like tiring, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot of racing right there, but it's going to go quick. So I'm ready to get back on the track. I feel like it's been forever since I've been back behind the wheel.
No doubt about it. I agree with you 100%. It's going to be great. Paragon Speedway is going to have the King of the Hill Sprint Car Series, and Thunder Mountain Speedway down in Corbin, Kentucky, going to have the Rob Carter Jr. Memorial Pro Late Models and regular classes. So there is a lot of racing again this weekend. We're hoping Mother Nature works out for us. Yes, there's probably going to be a chance of rain shower here and there. Don't mean it's a washout. Don't mean it's cancellation. There always is a little bit of a chance of a pop-up during the summer months as we get closer to that day. But I'll tell you what, guys, today was absolutely epic. No humidity and absolutely stellar day out there.
Yeah, it felt fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Let's keep this thing going for race days.
It almost, in the morning, I don't know if it felt like this to you guys. In the morning, it almost felt like a fall morning.
Yeah. Oh, it was chilly. I was wearing pants and a sweatshirt.
Oh, I don't know. I was sleeping in.
Must be nice.
Oh, yeah, lucky.
Well, guys, what we got on our final white flag moments today? Dalton, I'll start with you this week.
Well, hopefully, if we have a next week's show, hopefully I'll be a 4-time Anderson 150 winner, 3 in a row. So I'll just hope for a good run, really. I don't tear anything up. I've tore a lot of race cars up this year, and I'm just ready to finish one clean.
There you go. Harold Adams, what do you got?
I wish you luck there, Dalton, and everybody else luck, too, as we get into a busy stretch here, and just looking forward to it. And just try to get our rest here whenever we can so we can make it through it.
No doubt. And, of course, my message would be support your blue-collar racers from California to North Carolina and everywhere in between. They make our sport go, as we talked about it in the topic of the week. They are our black blue-collar guys who keep racing going, and girls, of course. But I want to give a big shout-out to all of our marketing partners here on the show each and every week for what they do for us, our drivers, crews for their contributions, our co-hosts, of course, and, of course, you great fans. Without you fans, we would have no racing, and we would have no Wild Will Throwdown podcast. So without you, there would be nothing. So we appreciate each and every one of you. And as far as I'm concerned, my name is Will Greenwell, and we'll see you next week here on the show on the Wild Will Throwdown.